Good evening. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, parents. Please forgive me if I fumble a bit there, mumble, and mess things up. Because whenever you go on live, this is what happens. So anyway, good evening, everyone. Good evening, parents. Today, I'll be sharing with you the strategies that I use for myself as a parent of 3 kids who sometimes struggle to keep a body that I love. And of course, the strategies that I share with you are going to be the strategies that I also share with my clients who have lost weight, who have a body that are thriving right now, who have bodies which are thriving right now. Okay, so today we'll be talking about how we can outsmart cravings. Okay, so this is especially for parents who are busy, who feel that it is always a struggle to lose weight or to have a body that they want. Now, one of the main issues when it comes to trying to lose weight is to control whatever that goes into our mouth and into our body, right? And this is why today I want to talk about cravings. Yeah, how many times have you decided on not eating anything unhealthy for the day, but when you see the food, you eat the food? You cannot control. There is so much, I want to say, so many things that goes into your mind, and so much trouble to just say no. It is very difficult to say no. How many times have you got that? Or perhaps when you are in the office and you are doing your work and your friend suddenly, or your colleague suddenly offer you a piece of cake. If you love cake, it's hard for you to say no to it, right? So how do you actually say no, firstly to yourself, and then you say no to your friend without, making things uncomfortable and a little weird? So I'm going to share with you 5 ways that you can outsmart cravings, and if you master them, I am pretty sure that you will be able to achieve the body that you want without struggling too much. Of course, this is just one piece of the puzzle, but if you can start doing this, it is a great start. Okay? Because as you know, whatever that you consume, you are going to either use it, you're going to burn it, or you're going to store it. And if you're not active enough, if your metabolic rate is not high, if your hormones are working against you, you will most probably be storing the fat at different places in the body, at the tummy, at the leg, at the back arm, and so on. Yeah? So let's get started. If you feel that this might help other people, please feel free to hit that like button and hit that share button so that we can help more people. Okay? So first things first, let's firstly share this. For my friends on Instagram, please accept my apologies. I cannot share the screen. So if you want to watch my desktop or take a look at my desktop and the graphics, feel free to go to my Facebook profile. Okay, just search for Coach Sharm. Right. Oh, here it is. All right. We are okay. All right. So, as you can see, there are 5 ways to outsmart cravings. Number 1, you must make sure that the triggers are kept at bay. Meaning, if you find that looking at food is going to give you trouble in controlling yourself, make sure that the food do not come into the path of your day. Okay, I'm going to go more in depth in a bit later. Let me just talk to you about other things. The next thing is make sure that your blood sugar is balanced. Meaning, if you don't have enough food, your brain may consider eating, right? Usually it is, right? Because there's not enough glucose on the, that goes into the brain, and we tend to eat, and the concern is actually the overeating part. third one I want to talk about is eat foods that help with your cravings or control your cravings. And one of the ways I've put on the slide there is to increase your omega-3 intake. Okay, I'm just going to do that. Next one is you control your cortisol level, control your stress level, and be the master of your sleep duration and sleep quantity, right? Quantity and quality. Manage your stress, because stress, as you know, can trigger cravings, and it's a very big factor, especially when we are busy parents who are constantly working. We want the best for our family, so we are working. We get tired, we get stressed, we have troubles, we have issues, we have problems. People's problem becomes your problem sometimes, and because of that, we tend to eat more and more. So do make sure that you can find ways and means to manage your stress. Okay, now if you have any questions, please feel free to comment, and I will try my best to answer you along the way. Right now, this particular sharing is going to be a shorter one than the last 2 days, which is about 40-45 minutes. That's why I start early today, because I want to try and finish everything by 8 o'clock. Next part is avoid artificial sweeteners, because when you eat or when you consume artificial sweeteners, when you find a particular drink that says it's like something zero or something free, sugar free, but it tastes like there's sugar inside, I want you to be extremely careful with it, because usually these drinks, beverages, they contain lots and lots of chemicals in them. Yeah, so we're not going to name any kind of brands, but as you know, there are many out there, because most of the time we are taught that the way to reduce weight is to reduce our calories. So when you go to the supermarket, you'll see lots of this but another version, sugar free, zero. Yeah, but when you look at the ingredients, you'll see that, hey, there's a lot of ingredients that you don't understand, you don't know what they are, some chemicals and all. So for this one, you know that it's sugar. Okay, one thing good about here in Singapore is that the sugar levels are lower. Now that doesn't mean that you're supposed to drink a lot, but by the way, in case you all are wondering why I have this, is because when I ordered my meal, it came with it. Yeah, will I drink it? Maybe, maybe not. So yeah, so let's talk about the first one, which is outsmart the food triggers. Plan ahead. Okay, so I always tell my clients this: if you feel that you do not have the strength, okay, to go head-on battle with a situation, there is another solution, which is don't fight. Don't go into battle. And how you do it? Diplomacy. Make sure, in our case, if you want to outsmart the food triggers, like for instance, you see donut, you have to eat donut. You smell Famous Amos cookies, you get triggered by that, and you want to have your cookies. Yeah, and perhaps if you walk at the mall at basement, and you know, sometimes these waffles, they are being cooked, baked, and they smell so heavenly. So if these things will trigger you to want to eat, which most of the time would for those who are struggling to lose weight, and if you know that you will lose this battle, try not to go through that route, right? Especially when you are taking the train, going to take a bus. Just, you know, especially if you're in Singapore, you know that you will go past and you will meet all these challenges along the way. I would like you to go slightly further out, change your route such that you don't have to challenge these things. I'll give you an example, okay? Let's say you're in primary school, right? You're in primary school, and you know there's this group of bullies or wannabe gangsters. You know, when they are young, that's what they are. They want to be gangsters, but they always create trouble So instead of you walking in front of them, if you don't want to have any kind of confrontation, you walk away from them. Walking away from negative energy, walking away from anything that's toxic, it is not being coward. It is being brave and smart. Okay, so one of the ways is to plan ahead. Make sure that the food triggers are not going to be in front of you throughout your day. Okay, and there are many things to talk about this, right? It can be other things also. It can be you sitting down here and the food trigger will go in front of you. You're focused, you are studying, and suddenly some kind of food smell that's calling you. Or perhaps Facebook, Instagram. When you scroll, whoa, what is this? Oh, Malay kueh, Chinese kueh, vade. Wow. Be careful. There are many ways that we can get triggered into eating. And one of the ways is to make sure that they are kept at bay. They are not going to control how you feel by doing this simple strategy, out of sight, out of mind. And a simple thing that you can do today is the things that's in your fridge. The things that's in your fridge, if you want to consume them right now, okay, perhaps you can start eating them and progressively and sharing it with everyone else in the family. But in the future, when you go to a supermarket, do not stock up on these things. Because you stock up on those Kinder Buenos and you stock up on Cadbury chocolates. Every time you open your fridge, you see it there, your mind gets triggered and you start eating and it gets stored in the tummy. Okay, so that's something that you may want to start to work on. Yeah. For those of us who just joined, please, thank you so much. Please feel free to hit that share button so that we can help more people. Okay, and most of the time we parents, we are very busy, and because we have very high stress levels, our cravings are extremely high, especially when we are emotionally bogged down with so many things, and we always go to comfort food for solutions, right? So please feel free to hit that share button, and thank you so much in advance. Yeah. All right, so we talk about out of sight, out of mind with regards to food triggers. The next thing I want to talk about is keep your blood sugar balanced. And this is for your brain to have the full access for full functioning. Yeah. As you know, right, sometimes in the morning before breakfast, it is very hard to do math calculations. It's like so slow to decide, or not to decide, to come up with the answers to whatever things that you need to find solutions. And one of the ways is actually to make sure that your body and your brain always have constant energy. Now, for most of us who are not trained to eat at a later time or to increase the duration between meals, this is where you will usually fail. Don't mind me saying this because it is a fact, right? We are not trained in doing something, and because of that, our brain will always tell us we need to be eating. Okay, so I don't want you to fail. I want you to be successful in controlling your cravings. So the one thing that you need to do is to make sure that you nourish your body first, nourish your mind first. Make sure that you have enough glucose in the body for it to function well. Because when you don't have enough glucose in the brain and your body don't know how to tap on the fatty acids or all the fat stores in the body, that is where your body, your mind will say that I am going to eat, I want to eat. And the problem lies with the fact that most of the time when we start eating, we need to eat a full meal, and it's harder for us to lose weight because we always overeat in that sense. Okay, so make sure that you are eating enough between meals. Right? Of course, there's many other ways to look at this. So please do bear in mind that when I share with you these strategies, it is more for the general public. And if you are into other kind of diets, I'm going to call it diet right now, like keto or intermittent fasting or Atkins or whatever diet that you are on, of course, there are different ways to do it. But at this point in time, what I want to say is, if you are not on any kind of any diet programs and all, this is the way to do it. Okay. Now, for some of us who have been told that we need to replace one of our meals with any kind of supplements, I would like you to reconsider, because what you are eating is actually, I want to say, any of this or all of this or some of this: carbohydrates, protein, fat. Right? So what you need to do when you see let's say a meal replacement, I would like you to look at the ingredients and see how many percent protein, how many percent fat, and how many percent carbohydrates. Okay? Now this configuration, you can find it in any kind of food. It's just a percentage. Yeah, and usually when you go to the supermarket and you look for them, they're much cheaper. Yeah, and they're much cheaper, and some have natural products in them. Right? So that's another way for you to look at meal replacements. Okay, if it is your thing, please go ahead and do that. But for me, I always coach my clients, and I want to tell my family and friends, please, as much as possible, eat natural foods, because natural foods are usually the best. They have a lot of nutrients in them, and there's no artificial ingredients in them. Okay, now that's the second one. So let's talk about the third one, which is eat foods that help with cravings. Where is it? Yeah, there you go. Let me just change it up first. Okay, eat foods that help with cravings, and one of the ways is to increase your omega-3 intake. Eat fish, eat chicken, eat your veg. Yeah, eat rice if you need to, not a problem. Of course, you can try and minimize it. You want to minimize this over the long term, but if in the current situation or a current environment that you're at, whatever it is, and you know that you are not trained to not eat carbohydrates, then you need to eat your rice. Okay, but you can always lower down the portion by 5 to 10%, right? You can also choose the healthier option, which is brown rice. Yeah, and train your body, train your mind to be able to take it and enjoy the food. Okay, there are many ways to curb cravings by eating the right food, but one of the ways to not help with cravings is to eat sugar. Okay, I'm not talking about just the normal, granulated sugar. I am talking about anything that's got sugar inside. Another case in point is this. It's got sugar inside. Cake has got sugar inside. Rice, sugar. Noodles, sugar. Bread, sugar. Pasta, sugar. Soft drinks, lots of sugar. Yeah, and there's sugar everywhere. Now, why do I keep on telling you this? Is because sugar is a very friendly food. Whenever you consume sugar, sugar wants to call all its friends to come and join. To come and join the party in your tummy. And this is why when you start eating something sweet, for most of us who have a sweet tooth, right, it is nearly impossible to stop until we feel satiated. And most of the time, it is at the end of that little episode of eating that soft serve ice cream and all. Yeah, and not only that, right? What happens after half an hour? You feel that you want to have more, because now that the sugar is in your body, it wants to call out for more. So it does not help with cravings. So if you know this, there's a way to do it to fight cravings, which is make sure that when you have your sugar, you also have other food with it. Okay, I know it sounds a bit weird now, but one of the strategies is this: instead of having desserts after, have desserts earlier, before food. I know it sounds silly, but this is one way that you can try, because usually in the back of your mind, that during a meal you need to have your desserts, right? So have it, half it, and then start eating your other food, healthy fat, protein, vegetables, your rice, all within safe limits, I would say. Yeah, and that way your body knows that, okay, it's got enough protein, it's got enough fiber in the body, and it's going to try and fight this earlier on sugars that just came into the body. Right? So that's one of the strategies. But I know it sounds silly. You don't need to do that. I'm just saying that for those of you who've been struggling, you are trying to find ways and means. Sometimes the order of food is the solution. For me, no, I have my desserts nearly every single meal, and I love my desserts, right? So if you have been following me on Instagram, on Facebook, you know that I have a very, very sweet tooth, and with the correct strategy that I eat and the correct timing that I eat, so far I'm okay. I have not gained weight. In fact, I've been losing body fat for the past few years, and past few, I don't want to say 1 decade, because 1 decade ago I was struggling like many other people, also many other parents, right? So let's talk about the next one, which is managing your stress. Now, stress will increase this hormone called cortisol. When that happens, that is where your body wants to hang on to fat. So one of the ways that you need and you can do is to manage your stress. Make sure that you are happier every day lah. That's it. Make sure you are happy every day. It is going to be work, because if you're hoping that being happy and having a low stress level is, let's say, depends on luck, then nothing can be done. You're just hoping that tomorrow is going to be a better day, right? But any kind of stress can be controlled, can be managed. But I understand that it depends on person to person, depends on the gravity of the problem, the situation, the environment that you are in. But do know that if you control your cortisol levels, you control your stress levels, you control the timing of your sleep, because when you sleep enough, your cortisol levels will be lowered. When you are able to control all this, you can control your cravings better. Okay, so just remember that. And this is why I always tell my clients who are sleeping late, please make sure that you have enough sleep. 7 hours will be great if you can. I know 8 hours is usually much better, but especially for us living in Singapore, 7 hours is a luxury, and try to hit that luxury, because your body, you deserve it. Okay, you deserve good sleep so that you don't crave. Okay, and some of the things that I mentioned here, like blood sugar, and then talk about increase in protein or veg and all, and when you have your stress level that's high, that is where everything is stacked and the problems becomes very, very real, and we don't want that to happen, right? Okay, so the next part here is to avoid artificial sweeteners. Avoid artificial sweeteners. Like I told you, when you want to drink soft drinks, I would suggest drink the actual thing. Drink the actual thing. Drink your Coke if you need to, but try and work towards having less and less. And one strategy to do it is like this. I want you to consider a situation where perhaps you are drinking 1 can a day. Okay, I want you to consider that it is not actually 1 can a day, it is 30 cans in a month. Right? So 30 cans in a month, I would like you to reduce by 1 a month. 1 can a month. So if for the past 5 years you've been having this, right? You're having this, and that's about 1,800 1,500, 1,800 cans that you have been drinking for the past 5 years. So if you were to start reducing 29 cans in December, 28 cans in January, 27 cans in February, at the end of 30 months, which is, give yourself 2.5 years, 3 years, you won't need to drink any more Coke. You are in control. Yep. But too many times, a lot of us go cold turkey, and that's usually the problem, because major changes to our lifestyle, our cravings, that's where the problem lies. You will get back to the old habits. Habits need to be formed slowly. Okay, and if you feel, 3 years, then I can stop drinking Coke, then change it up. Instead of 30 in December, go for 25 or even 20, which means you drink Coke not every day, but on some days. Every 2 days, okay, 2 days of Coke, 1 day of rest. No Coke, something else. You can do that because your body now consumes less and less of the I want to say chemicals, the sugars and everything else. And when your body gets to know that, hey, I can survive with a lower level of sugar, I can lower it down further in the future. I can lower it down further. So that's a step-by-step process or step-by-step planning to lowering down whatever cravings or whatever favorite food that you have, which you know is bad for you. Okay. So that's the I think that's all I want to share for today. It's already 8:05, and like I said earlier on, try to do everything in progression, okay, in moderation. I know that's a cliche, and the way to beat cravings, there are many ways to do it. I've listed down 5. You can always start with one first. Okay, start with one first. Some things are harder than others, like avoiding the food triggers is going to be extremely hard for most of us, because it doesn't only involve us, but it also involves many other people, especially our family members, our friends. So if you need to communicate with them, please go ahead, talk to them, tell them your whys, tell them your intent, tell them why you want to do this, your health, your energy levels, right? Whether you are upset with the way you look. These are the things that a lot of people don't understand, you know. Like, a lot of us, when we meet our friends, right, what do we always tell them when they want to try and go on a diet? We'll tell them, hey, you look good, you know. What are you trying to diet for? Don't lie, just eat. Right? That's what we tell them. And that's what they tell us, because usually we show care, love by giving each other food and feeding each other. So there's another way to show love, which is communicate. So you understand. Wait, why am I not? Yep. There's another way to do it, which is communicate so that you understand, they understand how you are feeling, how and what you want to be, that you are upset about with yourself having these low energy levels, always have no moods to do anything. So there are many ways to control your cravings. It's not only about you going at it alone. All right? Okay. So thank you so much for your time, and I would like to share with you that controlling cravings is just one of the things that you need to do in order to lose weight. Okay, if you don't have a high level of motivation, if you don't have discipline, if you are not doing the exercises correctly, if you are not fixing your hormones, if you are not building up your metabolism to make it faster, if you're not learning the right things, you don't have the knowledge, you don't have the skills and abilities to lose weight, it is going to be extremely difficult for you to lose weight just by doing your cravings alone only. So I would like to remind yourself, and I would like to remind myself that in order to get a body that we want, we need to have the whole works. We need to be smart in dealing with our day-to-day issues from many different angles. I hope I made sense there, yeah? Because when we want to lose weight, usually what we tell ourselves is that, okay, I'm going to try this tomorrow. I'm going to just run tomorrow. And the thing about running, the thing about cardio, if it's your thing, please go ahead and do that. But one thing about cardio is that you tend to want to eat more after exercise, right? Now, research have shown over and over again, after high intensity training, after long distance training, your body craves sugar like mad. And this is why no matter how much you want to stop eating, you always have this issue of being challenged, right, with your body. You're always fighting with your body. I don't want to have this, I don't want to have that, but your body says, no, I need to have the sugar, I need to have the glucose, I need to have that sugar, I need to have that sugar rush in the body, because I want to function. I want my brain to function. Yeah. Just thinking out loud, I'm looking at this Coke bottle here. I've had this for like 2 days already, and it's quite interesting. I'm not triggered by this at all. I have a story, like maybe a quick one. A few years ago, I think that was about 5 to 6 years ago, it was bad. I had a crazy addiction to Coke. Not that kind of Coke, but this Coke. And I'm not proud of it, but I was drinking one whole bottle of Coke a day. And at that point in time, the sugar levels in the Coke was at 100% in Singapore. Now it's been reduced by a lot more. I couldn't live without it. Every time I drink, I need to have my Coke, my Coca-Cola. It's horrible. It's horrible. So the things that I mentioned to you just now, to wean off this addiction to sugar, I've been there, I've done that. I felt how horrible it was. I saw my tummy increasing its size. And I understand, like, especially being with parents, I drink my Coke because it makes me happy. That's it. I get a sugar rush. I'm happy. My endorphin levels go up. I'm happy. I go to my Coke. And what I do to change that is I do it with a system, and I do it with actions and habits that are doable over and over again. Yeah, and after 3 months, I'm off Coke all the way, and I'm not even triggered at all. And this is coming from someone who is addicted to Coke. Because if you're my friend watching right now, you know, right? You know how much I eat, how much Coke I drank in the past. So be the master of your cravings, and you can do it. You can do it. Make sure that you have all these things here that I've listed, so that your body will work with you and not work against you, right? If you want to download this free PDF, feel free to go to bodythrive.co. Feel free to download it, and there's also a free coaching video after that. And if you want to have a chat with me, if you are interested to join me and my other clients in the VIP Body Thrive program, there is a chance for you to do that in the to book a call after that. Okay. Now, in the meantime, if you have any questions on how I can, help you, or anything about fat loss or weight loss, having a good body, finding time, right? As parents, we are very busy. And if you have any kind of issues you want to share with me and you need someone to listen to, feel free to connect with me, and I'll do my best to try and help you out if I can. Okay? All right. Take care, everyone. Remember, whatever that you do, make sure that everything is progressive, everything is doable. You just need to get better by 1% daily, right? Take care. I hope that for the next few days, you will put into action the things that I have shared with you. Oops, not this one. That I've shared with you. And if you find that it is working for you, please do connect with me. I want to hear your success story, okay? Every single day that you win against your cravings is a success. Every single day, no matter how small, no matter how big it is. All right? Thank you. Take care, and God bless.